Yo, what is up guys? Welcome back to the channel. In this video we're going to go ahead and begin breaking down the motor on the M45, which is the VK45DE V8 motor, and I'm going to begin removing a bunch of bolts, breaking it apart. That way we can go ahead and begin separating the head from the block and everything. So right now I'm just giving you guys a little bit of like a breakdown of what happened with this motor. It had a lot of oil consumption. Every 500 miles I would have to put about a quart of oil in this engine, so it was quite a bit. And just by looking at this engine, like if you compare it to mine, with the newer one that I have on the M45 versus this one, you can see that this one has a bunch of leaks everywhere. Like right there, you can see all that oil all the way around. Most likely is leaking from the crankcase right here, because I believe there's a seal on the back that can leak. And then also there's a bunch of buildup on this side right here. And then if you look at the head gasket right there, you can see buildup on that side. Over here, there's not too much. There's a little bit right there, but over there it's completely clean. So you can see where there was like some leaks and stuff. So it looks like it is just a bunch of gaskets that are old that need to be replaced in order for this engine to be good. But this engine had no problems whatsoever when it came to running. It ran amazing. No knocking, ticking, nothing crazy like that. I already started removing the 10 mils right here to this, so we can begin separating it. So we can remove like the solenoid and everything that's right here, and then remove the camshafts on the top. So you got to remove like this whole cover right here. The only thing that I don't have is something to remove the crank, which you actually need to remove because the whole cover comes with it. So that's gonna suck. I need to go ahead and take this off. Usually I've seen people use an impact, comes right off, or they use something in the back to hold the flex plate and then they break that loose. So I'll see if I can find something to break it loose with, but if I can't, then that's gonna delay the process because you do need to remove that. But that's pretty much it. Let's go ahead and begin doing this. I'm gonna try to make this a whole cinematic of me just taking things apart, and then we'll go from there. Finally got the engine on an engine stand. It's honestly just been like sitting in my garage for the past year, or since I technically took it out. And I did have a little bit of trouble when picking out an engine stand. Well, I picked this one up for a really good deal. I got this for 50 bucks. What's up? Huh? This is Lola. And then that's Luna over there. I think she just farted. But yeah, I was having a little bit of issues with this engine stand because for some reason these holes right here to like this part, they were large enough to fit the bolt, but for whatever reason this section right here in the hole, it was too small, so I had to enlarge it by using a Dremel. I was going to try to use a drill and I was not successful with it. It was just not going through this thick metal piece, so I just used a Dremel flywheel, cut it multiple times until I could get the bolts in there, and I was finally able to get them in there. These are M14 times 1.50. Those are going to be the bolt sizes. These right here are the stock ones. They fit perfect on here. And then these top ones right here, they're a little bit larger. So I think they're like about this large right here. And then these ones, they only went up to like about right, I would say about right there. Almost all the way through. So it does have quite a bit of thread on there. There's going to be other engine stands that I've seen that are a little bit larger when it comes to this section right here. So you will have to use a longer stud for sure on those. When I went to the store, they only had these two for some reason. I needed two more, but we made it work with these right here. As you guys saw, I removed the oil pan. It was just a few 12mm bolts. They're all right here. There's a few missing because I had removed this oil pan before, and trust me, it is pretty difficult to get it off. Once you remove all the bolts, it just doesn't come off like I took it off. You actually have to use like something flat, really flat, kind of like a spatula, to be able to shove it in there, separate all the RTV, and then you can begin separating it. But even then, it's still pretty hard. So just keep that in mind. And the only complication that we're running into right now is removing this right here. The crane pulley, I'm having a lot of trouble removing it. I tried using an impact socket, just was not working. So I'm gonna have to get like a weighted one, see if that works in removing the pulley, because it's just not coming off. The other thing that you can do is there's a special tool for the back that holds the flex plate, but I don't really know where to get that. I tried looking it up online, but I had no luck finding it. So I just got to remove this, and then we can begin removing the front assembly, because I have already removed all the little, I think they're all like 10 mils for the most part, and a few 12 for the front cover. And then we can begin removing the camshafts right here to the inside, that we can begin separating the heads and everything. All right guys, so today is a few days later. I am a little bit sick, so I might sound a little weird, but I'm going ahead and removing some of the covers right here, like this one. Just removed all the 10 mils to pop this thing off. I just used my hammer, put it right there in the middle, popped it off loose. Then we have this one right here that I'm gonna go ahead and pop off as well. I'm gonna use my hammer to, provide some support right here, and then right there to push it open. Alright guys, so I've been having the biggest pain and trouble trying to get this crank pulley off. I went ahead and grabbed a piece of wood that I had in the back and just stuck it in here. So hopefully that'll help to get that thing loose, because honestly, it's just not coming off. I even tried a impact socket, didn't work. I'm not sure if because my compressor is way too small. Maybe I needed like a huge one to be able to break it loose, but I'm just having a lot of trouble with that thing. Alrighty guys, we finally got the bolt removed. It was honestly really difficult. It was really hard to get that thing off. I had to use 2 breaker bars. One completely broke that I got a long time ago from Harbor Freight. Did me good for a lot of things, but it snapped right there. And then I got this one from Amazon. It just came in today and it worked. Broke it loose without breaking the breaker bar. But the issue I think that I was having was more of the motor just moving way too much. So I'm not sure if I'll be able to move it right now. Yeah, like right now you can see that it's kind of moving and it would push down a little bit. So what would happen is I would put leverage on the bar with my extension right there from my jack. I would pull it down from right here, going down, and the whole motor would go with it. It would lift up the jack stand, which is most likely another issue that I most likely had, is I don't have like a proper jack stand to support a lot of weight. So it was moving the engine, you know, back and forth, not transferring my power to that bolt, instead moving the engine down. So that's one thing that I noticed as well. You might want to get a better engine stand that supports the weight of the engine a little bit better, because it was honestly difficult to do it with the engine out. I think if the engine was inside of the car still, it would have a lot more support, because it would be supported on the sides where the mounts are at, and it won't move, so you can brake easily. Honestly, I think it was over tightened, if I'm being completely honest with you. I think somebody worked on this engine, over tightened it, and it was just way too difficult. And it's this one right here. Once I removed it, I was able to pull the pulley off with no issues. I didn't even have to use like a flathead to pull it out. It was already loose once we removed it. But yeah, that's it when it comes to that. I am separating this now. There is two parts. So like you have this section right here, that's its own piece right here. Gotta remove these bolts. Gotta remove this. And then over here, I already removed a lot of the bolts. So this honestly just pops right off just like that. But you could keep it on there to give you a little bit more like support when separating this portion right here, the timing cover. I already separated a little bit. You can kind of see right here. It's already separating. Right there. And then on this side, there's another area. So like right here, it's already separated a little bit. Right here, right there. There's a spot right here. Put a flathead, separate it. You can see it's already like separating it a little bit. So I just gotta go through the rest of it, try to separate as much as possible. Be careful though, because you don't want to break it. And guess what? It's a good thing I checked, because there's a 10 mil right there. So I would have completely broke this thing if I didn't check that. So make sure all the bolts are removed, every single one around the area, so you don't break the cover. I'm so lucky I checked that, and that's not even noticeable right there, and especially because of all this gunk everywhere. Like you can see everything build up. It's covering up a lot of stuff, so make sure you check everything. What I've seen a lot of people do is they'll grab some cardboard and they'll poke holes on it so they know exactly where all the bolts, so they'll just chase this out and then put all the bolts where they go so they don't lose it. I didn't do that just because I'm most likely going to be putting this stuff away for a while until I get a chance to rebuild it. But it's something that you guys can do as well. But yeah, let me go ahead and remove that, and then we'll begin removing the timing cover. Alrighty guys, this video is getting a little bit too long, so we're gonna go ahead and end it right there. In the next video, we should be able to remove the oil pump, which is this right there, and then the timing chain, also the tensioners right here, those, remove all that stuff from the front, and then we should be able to remove the camshafts, which are these right here, and then that'll give us access to the head itself. So that's the plan, that's the goal. I will say that the hardest part of this process or video was actually removing the crank pulley bolts, and I think the biggest reason why it was so hard is because the engine is no longer inside the car, so it doesn't have, you know, good stability to where it's just transferring my power to the bolt itself. But as you guys can see in the previous clips, when I was applying, my power force to pushing the bowl, it was actually pushing the entire engine down with it. So it's not, transferring the power that I'm pretty much putting in. I really have to have somebody hold it down and or have something hold it into place so it doesn't move. I think it'd be better to go ahead and actually loosen that when it's inside of the car versus outside. And on an engine stand like this engine stand is not like incredibly strong. As you can see, it just has those legs right there. If you get a stronger one that supports more weight, I think that'll make it a whole lot easier. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I can't wait to break this thing apart. Like I said, this thing has no issues. And we'll see what we do with this motor. I was planning on keeping it so we can go ahead and put it in the M45 in case something happens to that motor. But if I do get another project, who knows? This might be the donor right here. But we'll see. But I thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.